Major false advertising on product packaging productions presents. Yet other people like to see cats in videos as well. Here's one. Got the window slightly ajar right now, actually. And believe it or not, it looks like it is actually snowing outside. And yet the sun is out in full swing. I don't know if it's snowing or not. It's probably just stuff blowing around, but I have the window open, even though it's, minus 5 degrees outside, because it's about 400 degrees in here. Okay, not really, but you get the point. Video is about a computer. It's not about the one that's here. Which looks like it's finally finished. This thing has been sitting here for probably the better part of the last 2.5 hours installing updates. But fortunately it looks like it's finally done, so I can actually get on with this video. I have no idea why this thing is so slow. This is the Toshiba Tecra, I think this is an A8 or an M8. I think it's an A8. The Tecra A8 with the Core Duo T2300 CPU, and it's just dog slow at doing anything. This down here has a T2400 CPU in it, and it runs rings around this thing, so again, I really don't know why that is, but I gotta get this thing wrapped up, get it out of here, so I can actually do some work on what I need to work on today. I thought this looked interesting. Night shot is on. This is Night Shot Plus, so it does a better job of retaining colors than regular Night Shot does. At least that's what I think is the deal here. Certainly does some interesting things with certain shades of black, though. Certain materials, I'm sorry. Like this fabric here. It's really dusty, I had to clean it off. That right there. This is what it's supposed to look like. See what I mean about this thing taking for bloody ever to do anything? I'd love to know just what it's doing, other than wasting my time. I might just turn it off. Okay, I think that's enough editorializing for one video. Here's the actual subject. The Toshiba Portege M100. Which is given to me courtesy of Ross, ACB, so he'll probably know more about the specs of this thing than I do, because I actually don't remember, other than the fact that it's got a Pentium M 1.4 GHz CPU. I think it's got 512 megabytes of memory, a 60 gigabyte hard drive, and I know that it's running Linux Mint Debian Edition. This was my LMDE test system, but it's not a problem. Or at least it did the last time I used it. So we power it up. I know the battery is no good. Same deal with the real-time clock, apparently. The optical drive made a very unhappy noise, but it does still seem to work. On this one, you actually can set the date and time, so I'm going to go do that. Set all these up to my liking, and then we'll continue. Okay. Here is Linux Mint Debian Edition. Cindy. So this is 3. LMDE4. And it should pop up a message about the problem shortly after we start up here. I think it takes a little while. And if sound is on, it's going to scare the crap out of me. It always does. Notice the speakers actually have bass ports on them. At least that's what... Yeah, that's a bass port. It's interesting. It's actually a very high quality laptop. Sub notebook. Actually, no, I don't even think you could call this a sub-notebook. I think a sub-notebook's a little bit more stripped down than this is, but it's about the same size as a sub-notebook, so basically a netbook before netbooks really took off. It's a lot more full-featured than a netbook. It's got an optical drive and everything. It really does take its sweet time. Like I said, it would have spooked me. Okay, a couple corrections to make. Number one, it's a Pentium M 1.2 GHz CPU. It's got a gigabyte of memory installed in it, which is very odd. I was not expecting that. And a 40 gigabyte hard drive. So I was wrong on all fronts. Isn't that great? You know, I actually can't tell if it's exhibiting the symptoms anymore or not. But what was going on was when I boot it up, it would display a message box that would tell me Cinnamon has crashed, you're running in fallback mode. It seems to be a common problem with the Cinnamon desktop, which is why I don't like it. I'd much rather use the Mate desktop, but unfortunately with the Linux Mint Debian edition you don't get a choice. And since this is my LMDE test system, well, I don't really get a choice either, other than to not use it as the LMDE test system. But it gives it something to do, right? Anyway, I can't tell if it's exhibiting the problem, but since this was an upgrade install anyway, and to make this video actually worth making, I'm going to go ahead and reload Linux Mint Debian Edition 3 from scratch anyway. So I've got my little boot manager disk that I'm going to need, and I have a USB stick over there that I have freshly made for this purpose. So we're going to go ahead and reboot the system and boot from the USB and reinstall. And that's an interesting message. You have just inserted a medium. Okay then. Sure is taking its jolly sweet time. Well, here we go. I think if I remember right, this one, when it actually comes back on, is the one, yes. So we will boot to CD. You just hit one of the, I think you only have to hit one of these keys, and then you can use that down there. So then we'll go, I don't know, this thing might support USB booting directly, but I don't know for sure. So we'll just do it this way. We'll see if it actually works. Which it doesn't look like it does. Awesome. Alright, back to this project. See if we can get it to boot to the DVD. Did it just completely ignore me? I think it completely ignored me. Huh. Okay, so I'm not really sure what that was all about. Hopefully it will actually boot to that DVD. It's possible that it doesn't like it, because it's a minus RW instead of a plus RW. I hope that's not the case, and it shouldn't be the case, because it did manage to boot what was the contents of this one. So, but I guess we'll see. Well, it's definitely a little on the slow side, but we are actually getting somewhere now. Or we were. I don't know if it's actually going to open. I think this is what it's supposed to look like, not what I was seeing before. So we were, in fact, running in fallback mode. I probably disabled the message box or something. Now this is a different installer. I found the mouse here. Than standard Linux Mint. Managed to get my time zone correct. That's amazing. Although the time is certainly not right. And that's also not correct. I want the US layout. Let me figure that out. Now comes the fun part of installing. And then an hour later, it's now complete. Find the mouse, here we go. Please do. And that is pretty much going to do it for this video. So, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.